As we look at this beautiful bright flame, we take it inside to the place of our true divine selves. There it will join divine light that lives within us, guiding us and keeping us connected to spirit. Good morning, I'm Deborah Martin, and I'm going to be your prayer partner today and available by phone for individual private prayers. All you need to do is send an email to the office. As we start our time together in prayer, let's take a few deep breaths. With each inhale, we bring in the light of the candle. We fill ourselves with divine love and divine light. On each exhale, we release any earthly concerns or worries. We recall that we are a spiritual being having a human experience. We connect to spirit and surrender to the moment at hand, whatever life is presenting us. We turn our attention from without to within. And we release this prayer into the prayer field, giving heartfelt thanks for the many blessings we share. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you so much, Deborah, for that opening prayer. Beautiful. So I'd like to welcome you to Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa's Sunday online service. My name is Linda McCabe, and I am honored to be the service facilitator this morning. Before we start our service today, we would like to acknowledge the Algonquin Nation on whose traditional unceded territory we are holding this online service. We gratefully acknowledge them as past, present, and future stewards of this land. I invite you to relax, breathe, open, and receive as we begin our service with an opening song performed live from Vancouver by none other than recording artist and friend of Aswell, Nathen Aswell, The Making of a Soul.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you again, Linda. This is one of my songs, so I think I know how it goes. And I understand that you sing it often at the center, so I'm very pleased about that. Is there another slide with the lyrics on it? I'm hoping there is. There it is. Here we go. Please sing with me. The making of a soul, the making of a soul. I'm busy with the making of a soul. I've come as a magician and an ordinary man to make a contribution and be part of the plan. There is no destination, the journey is the goal. I'm busy with the making of a soul. Whoa, whoa. Busy with the making of a soul. The making of a soul. The making of a soul. I'm busy with the making of a soul. Part of me's an artist, and part of me's a fool. I have no map to guide me, there is no book of rules. The only thing that's certain is joy will lead me home. I'm busy with the making of a soul. Whoa, whoa. Busy with the making of a soul. The making of a soul. The making of a soul. I'm busy with the making of a soul. I'm part of, lurking in my shadow are things I must reclaim. I call them out into the light and give each one a name. 'Cause everyone's a mirror that helps to make me whole. I'm busy with the making of a soul. Whoa, whoa. Busy with the making of a soul. The making of a soul. The making of a soul. I'm busy with the making of a soul. I'm part of unfolding, I trust and fully give. All that really matters is that while I live, my gift someone is needed. The universe is home. I'm busy with the making of a soul. I'm busy with the making of a soul. The making of a soul. The making of a soul. I'm busy with the making of a soul. One more time. The making of a soul. The making of a soul. I'm busy with the making of a soul.
Oh, beautiful, Nathan. Thank you. And isn't that what we're all here doing? We are all busy with the making of the soul, our soul. So good to have you back. And we will hear more songs from Nathen as well as a Sunday talk sprinkled throughout the service today. So I want to ask you all, how has your week been? You know, we have had some beautiful weather this past week, and I've been fortunate enough to have been on a life-changing retreat at Sacred Mount Shasta in Northern California. And since arriving home, I've been on self-isolation as required by the law, which thankfully is finishing this Thursday. So we are entering a significant annual event that occurs every August. So do you know what it is? Here's a hint. It begins August 8th or 8/8. Have you got it? Well, it's the Lion's Gate portal. And so you might ask, well, what is the Lion's Gate? We have moved into the constellation of Leo, which is the heart portal of the universe. And the Lion's Gate is when we enter into celestial alignment with the sun of Sirius. And Sirius appears closest to the Earth at this time. So because Sirius is 2 times brighter than 2 times as big and 26 times more luminous than our own sun, when we look at the sky, it actually is the brightest star in the sky. The Lion's Gate is like a beautiful explosion of interstellar energy, which makes it a very potent time to set your intentions and to tune into your soul's purpose. So very apropos that Nathen started our whole service today with the making of a soul. Who are you to be on earth? It is in the being that you will find the doing. And it's a wonderful time to experience shifts in our lives and upgrade our experiences of abundance and our capacity to manifest. And when we get clear on who we are and why we are here, we experience the ESCO vision. And know that with me, an awakened world celebrating oneness. So take a breath and notice how you are experiencing the ESCO vision, an awakened world celebrating oneness. And we do that by expanding consciousness and transforming lives. Our theme, the Unity Worldwide theme for 2020, is perfect vision. And so how are you using your perfect vision to see through your own spiritual insight? And the theme, the Unity Worldwide theme for August, of which which is our theme too, is acceptance. And the affirmation, so please know that with me. Together, I release resistance and experience acceptance. I release resistance and experience acceptance. And Unity has a video to elaborate more deeply on this theme. Beautiful. So let us turn to our announcements. So first, our first announcement is we're so delighted to join in this online book study with Unity Minister Bill Heller, along with Paul Hasselbeck. They are co-authors of the book, Unity in A Course in Miracles. And Bill will be offering an online 5-week course on Wednesdays beginning August 26th at 2 to 4 p.m. That's Eastern Time. The cost is $50 Canadian, and you can order the book through Amazon. The book costs $26.12, or a Kindle version is $10, and there is a registration email. Now, you have lots of time because it's not until the end of August, and Sheila will put this announcement with all the associated links in the upcoming newsletter. So I really encourage you. This will be a phenomenal, fabulous course. The book is highly, highly rated. And these two men, both ministers, have been studying both A Course in Miracles and Unity Principles. They are experts in this. And so if you really want to deepen both in Unity Principle and your understanding of A Course in Miracles and how they merge, and very beautifully, this is the place to be. So stay tuned. In spirit groups, and there's an announcement in our newsletter this week, and I invite Board President Sue Hagar to come and speak about this. Sue?
Thank you. Good morning. And we are so excited to be starting spirit groups with Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa. This is something you may have heard of before because spirit groups have been around since 2013 and certainly are thriving within the Unity community and other New Thought communities. So we as a board have looked at this and think it is something that is very beneficial to our community, particularly at this time where we're not able to get together in person on a regular basis. So there are going to be training sessions in August and September in preparing for a fall launch. And these are all self-paced video-based training program to make it easy for us to get up to speed on how to do this basically small group ministry program for Ottawa. So we are looking to the community to see who might like to be a leader of a spirit group. And of course, there's no obligation. Please do email the office if you would like to learn more, if you're interested, or reach out to a board member to chat about it. We are learning about it as we go along as well. There's lots yet that I don't know about it, but I would love to chat with you about it. If you're interested, we're super excited and we hope you are too. So stay tuned for more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sue. Yes, the excitement is building. Please stay tuned for a community circle on August 16th after fellowship. And so this will be an opportunity to hear what what your thoughts are on all of our online services, where we're going in the future, to give us feedback, to ask questions, to gain clarification. So please stay after service on August 16th, the third Sunday. It's always an invitation to join our newsletter, to share it with your friends, to invite them to join the newsletter by emailing the office at officeunityottawa@yahoo.ca to be added to our list. And I also noticed that Sue has put in the chat that Michael Swinwood is offering a full moon meditation on tomorrow night, which is our full moon, our Leo full moon. And as you know from my opening remarks, just how important this time is for us. And so I really encourage you to check out the Zoom chat, the chat, and Sue's email is in that if you wish to have a link to the Zoom full moon service tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Thank you. And now, Nathen, I invite you back to Sing God and Me Can Do Anything, written by Nancy Abercrombie and performed by Nathen Aswell.
Thank you, Linda. All right, everybody, I know you know this one, so please sing along. Today I choose abundance and universal good. Everything unfolds for me exactly as it should. God in me can do anything, myself I know not how. God in me can do anything, and I accept it now. Today I choose forgiveness and let my judgment go. The Christ in me loves everything and everyone I know. God in me can do anything, myself I know not how. God in me can do anything, and I accept it now. Today I choose fulfillment for all the world to see. And as I heal my feelings, life is healing me. God in me can do anything, myself I know not how. God in me can do anything, and I accept it now.
Beautiful, uplifting and affirming. So now I would love to invite Kate Capogrico to read the daily word. So please prepare yourself to receive the daily word from Kate.
Thanks, Linda. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all again. Today's daily word is compassion. I am kind and compassionate. Seeking to grow in compassion, I look to the example of Jesus. Gospel stories give many examples of Jesus showing compassion by demonstrating keen awareness of the needs and feelings of friends and strangers alike. I remember learning that Jesus did not turn away from social outcasts. He healed them and shared meals with them. His compassion fed a multitude and restored wine to a wedding reception. Upon learning that his dear friend had died, Jesus wept. Even when his disciples deserted him and he was crucified, Jesus asked God to forgive them. As I desire to grow in compassion, I know that my kind words and even simply my loving presence provide comfort. I listen deeply with my heart as well as with my ears. And from the letter to the Philippians, chapter 2, verse 4, let each of you look not to your own interests, but to the interests of others. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Kate, for that beautiful message, reminding us of what the Master, Yeshua or Jesus, would do. So it gives me great pleasure to invite Deborah Martin, our prayer partner, back on stage. Deborah.
Thank you, Linda. This month we're celebrating the power of elimination or release, which is defined as the ability to release, remove, denounce, deny, or just let go. The disciple is Thaddeus, and I wasn't familiar with Thaddeus. It turns out he's also known as Jude the Apostle. Opinion is divided as to whether this Jude, it was a very common name, Judas and Jude are both translations of the same name, whether this Jude was also the brother of Jesus, the traditional author of the Epistle of Jude. Also interesting to me is that Jude is the patron saint of desperate cases and lost causes. The color for elimination release is russet, and its location is in the abdominal region. Let's say this affirmation together, please. I release anything and everything that no longer serves my unfolding good. And this month we are remembering in prayer Unity Center of Winnipeg and Unity Christ Center of Truth in Etobicoke, Ontario. And now I'm just going to stop for a sec to let you bring to mind, into your consciousness, the people who you would like to invite into prayer. As we think of those people, we are grateful for them as they bless our lives. By including them in prayer, we connect them and us also into the flow of spirit. Through our prayers, we acknowledge and claim our birthright powers and connection to the divine. And we are grateful that as we all feel the spirit of the divine working in us, wondrous things begin to happen for us and for our loved ones. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you so much, Deborah. It's important to know that we can change our thinking and outcomes by the way that we pray. So before I introduce our guest speaker, if any of you are still on gallery view, it is an opportunity now to switch to speaker view so you can focus on our speaker. So remember, in the top right corner of your screen, either click the word gallery view or hover your mouse over the top picture and select the small little box. So our guest musician and speaker this week is, as you already know, Nathen Aswell. And I am so happy, Nathen, that you are a friend and great supporter of USCO. Nathen and I have been attempting to organize an in-person appearance because he visits this area to see his loving mother. And well, COVID-19 put that to an end. But thanks to Zoom, we get to enjoy the next best version live online in the early morning hours of Vancouver. So for those of you unfamiliar with Nathen, Nathen Aswell is a Vancouver-based speaker and recording artist who believes that his calling is to encourage people to live big lives, one small step at a time. Nathen speaks and performs internationally to share his calling. And in September last year, he took the courageous step to walk the Camino de Santiago, which is over 8,000 kilometers in Spain. And he's currently writing a book about this experience. Nathen will be leading us in a meditation and will then share his experiences in a talk called Small Steps, Big Life, a Call of the Camino. And he will finish with special music. Please join me in welcoming our friend, Nathen Aswell. Nathen.
Thank you so much, Linda. All right. I'd like to start with a chant that I co-wrote with a good friend of mine, Becca Palm. It's very simple. You can see the words there. So I'll sing it twice. I lovingly listen to all that's inside. In silent submission, I find peace. Peace. Peace, peace. I am peace. I lovingly listen to all that's inside. In silent silent submission I find peace. Peace, peace, peace. I am peace. And now, if you haven't already, I invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Slowly in and let it slowly out. One more time, slow breath in and a slow breath out. And one more time, slow breath in and slow breath out. And as you continue to slowly breathe in and out, I invite you now to turn your attention to your feet. Feel your feet resting comfortably on the floor, and feel your connection to the earth, to Mother Earth. And as you continue to breathe in and out slowly and deeply and feeling your connection to Mother Earth, I now invite you to turn your attention to your heart and feel your connection, your heart connection to everybody in this loving community. So as you're feeling your connection to Mother Earth through your feet and feeling your heart connection to everybody else in this community, I invite you to ponder this question. What would it be like if today you were to deeply listen? What might you hear if you were to allow yourself to deeply listen? I invite you to ponder that for a few minutes as we enjoy some complete silence. To all that's inside, in silent submission I find peace. Well, good morning, everyone. Officially, I'm very excited about the opportunity to talk with you this morning about my experience at the Camino. Whew. And yeah, I'm a highly sensitive person, and I'm prone to tears and emotion. So if that comes up as I'm speaking, that's what that's about. I'm okay. It's just, yeah, this is a subject that's very near and dear to my heart. Walking the Camino was a life-changing experience. So let's begin. I would like to talk about the Camino. There were basically three stages to my Camino experience: before, during, and after. So let me speak to you about the before part. Before I do that, however, I need to share my screen with you. So there we are. So, as with most people in North America, my first experience of the Camino was through this movie starring Martin Sheen. For those of you, for the one or two of you in North America who may not have seen this movie, it's about Martin Sheen, who is starring with Emilio Estevez, his real-life son. Emilio plays someone who starts on the Camino and actually dies on the very first day of the French Camino, which is the Camino most people travel. Can be very treacherous depending on weather conditions. He dies, and in his memory, Martin Sheen, playing Emilio's father, decides to walk the Camino in his son's memory and has his own spiritual awakening. So, like most people, I love the movie, and I thought, yep, that's on my bucket list. I'll have to do that one day. And I put it aside. Until last April. Sorry, not April of 2020, April of 2019. I was out Ottawa way visiting my mom, as Linda mentioned. And my mom loves to watch movies, and we watched this movie. And I had seen it before in the theaters. And for those of you who may not have seen it, Tom Hanks plays FedEx exec who basically gets marooned on a deserted island for 4 years. Very life-changing, comes back to find out that everybody, of course, has moved on, including the woman who was his fiancée, has already married and had a child with another man. So it struck me very, very deeply watching it again, and the message that came out of it is, the only time we have is now. And I started thinking about the Camino, and I thought, what am I waiting for? This is an experience I really want to have, so now's the time. So right then and there in April, when I was visiting my mom, I decided it was time to walk the Camino. How was I going to do it? How was I going to get the money to do it? I had no idea. I was full of fear and questions, and I thought, I'm just going to trust. All that I knew was, as I say so often, it's all about small steps, big life. So I immersed myself in many small decisions. I watched many videos. And as I watched those videos, often I would cry for reasons I didn't understand. But I came to believe that it was the call of the Camino. I've heard that phrase, the call of the Camino. I did really feel like I was being called to walk that. And so, as part of my preparation, I got a hold of these two books, which are basically considered the Bibles of the Camino, written by John Brierley. The one on the left is the book about the Camino that most people travel, the one that's mentioned in the movie, The Way. And the second one, the one on the right, is a much shorter Camino, which then takes you to the coast. It was my intention right from the beginning to do both of those things. And one of the other questions I was asked very often is, you're not going to walk on the Camino without an instrument, are you? And I thought, well, I can't bring my stick. So I thought, what can I do? I did some research, and I discovered this beautiful little thing. This is called a guitar lele. It's the same size as a ukulele, but it's got 6 strings on it, as you can see, instead of 4 like a ukulele, and it's tuned like a guitar. And it's very small and very light. I thought, great, there's my solution. I'll be able to walk on the Camino and share music, and I did, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So, off I went. Many hours traveling by plane and then by train. And this is the very first albergue or hostel that I stayed in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, which translates as St. John at the foot of the bridge. It's the official start of the French Camino, just inside the French border. And I was absolutely full of fear. So many questions, will I have enough to eat? Will I find places to stay? And the woman who ran this albergue set my mind at ease and set a lovely tone for the whole trip. Whoops. I got off the train thinking, okay, I know it's not far from the train to where she is. And I got off the train at about 10 o'clock at night, an hour after she usually closes the front office. And she greeted me at the train in person. So I heard a person with a beautiful French accent calling my name. And she drove me from the train to the albergue. So it was a lovely beginning to my trip. Here's the view, just turning around from where I was just standing. This is my first view, my first day as I'm about to start out on the Camino. So my next concern, so here I am talking about what happened to me during the Camino. So if beforehand it was all about the time is now, during the Camino it was all about me addressing my fears, and I had many fears. As I said, will I have places to stay? What's the signage like? Will I get lost? So here, in the next several images, let me show you how well marked the Camino is. These symbols are seen everywhere. The scallop shell on the left and the arrow on the right. So you see them on signs. And this is what one of those signs looks like at night, because they can be seen by headlights when there's no light. This is probably one of the fanciest ones I saw, scallop shell on the wall of someone's home. And these are distance markers. You don't see it here in this sign. It says to Finisterre, which is the destination right at the coast. But in most of those markers, they actually have the kilometer markings, so you know how far you, how much further you have to go until you get to Santiago, which is the end point. But you also get all kinds of creative signs on the way. So here's an arrow made out of stones. Here's a painted arrow on a rock. And in sidewalks, as I would pass through some of the towns, you'd see the scallop shells right in the sidewalk, or this kind of symbol, or this symbol, or this symbol, or an actual shell. And these last two make me laugh. This is a roundabout in one of the small towns. You can see in the background the arrow going to the right, the direction that I'm supposed to walk once I actually leave this little city, little village, little town. But this is the one that makes me laugh the most. For those of you who don't get that the arrows are all about the Camino, let's actually write the Camino so that you really get it. So all that to say, I felt very well guided all the way through. And there were about 4 or 5 times where I did get lost, and Camino angels appeared. It was amazing. I would be walking at 6 o'clock in the morning. There'd be absolutely nobody around. I would have made a wrong turn and someone would be walking their dog, or a policeman would be driving by or something. So I was never lost for more than about 10 minutes, the few times that I was. So I felt very well guided. Next concern, what am I going to do about food? Well, here I am hanging out with some of the folks that I met on the way. Let me just get their names for you, make sure I say this right. From left to right is Brett from Australia, Beth from New Zealand behind Brett, Loriano at the end of the table, originally from Spain, now living in England, Shai from Israel, and Takuya from Japan. So many opportunities to share meals. This is us in Lyon, which is, I think, probably about a third of the way through. And yeah, just having a wonderful time. So many shared meals, yes. And here's one of probably the albergue where I had the best breakfast. These are homemade churros. For those of you who have never had churros, they're kind of a Mexican thing just made out of, would that be deep fried in flour? Sorry, I'm not a cook, I don't know. But anyway, they were amazing. And yeah, just another example of how well cared for I was on the Camino. And for the times where I didn't want to have either one of those choices, many, many supermarkets along the way. So food was never an issue. And then there were gentlemen like this, these angels, these saints, which all the way along, as you can see, he has a sign there in front saying donation. So he has all those food, all those apples and drinks and whatever, and you just paid whatever you wanted to. And he was just a very sweet, kind soul. And behind him, you can see that through the doorway, there's a bathroom. So all the way along, you just get this very strong sense that you are being cared for. One of the expressions I learned early on is the Camino provides. It absolutely does. Every single step of the way, you really do feel like you are not alone, that you are guided and blessed and supported. Many of these stations have people, and some of them don't. Some of them just have food that's laid out, and as you can see the sign, they're saying delicious homemade food by donation. You just put whatever you want in the basket by the food. So that's food. How about lodging? One of my concerns, of course, was I had my phone with me, but I didn't make reservations at any point. Will I always have a place to stay? Absolutely. I never had an issue finding a bed. I made a point of starting my days very early, so I would get to places at around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, when I always had the pick of the litter in any town. So the albergues, or the hostels, came in many different shapes and sizes. Some of them were standalone buildings like this. Some of them look like something you'd see in any town, just like kind of like an office-looking kind of place. And sometimes there were just doors in a little laneway or a little alleyway. But every one of them was beautiful and clean. And, we'd put our backpacks near the bunks and settle in and have an adventure with lots of other people. And this is also worthy of note. I included this because there was one night where I got to, one afternoon, I should say, at the end of a very stressful day where I had a lot of climbing, where I couldn't find the albergue I was looking for. And I happened to pass a woman speaking in English, and I said, "Do you know where the albergue is?" And she said, "Well, actually, I've made reservations at 2 places, and I don't need one. Please have this one on me." So this is the house that I had a room in for the evening. Talk about blessed. And she absolutely refused to take any money from me. So I got to stay in this beautiful building, and this is the view from the front door looking out across the valley that I've just climbed through. So it was an absolutely beautiful way to end my day. So again, the Camino provides, very well cared for all the way along. This picture for me typifies what I enjoyed most about the Camino, and that is the sense of freedom in the simplicity of the day. As I relaxed into it, I realized all I needed to do was to put my backpack on at the beginning of the day, go out into the day and walk, and everything else would be provided. So the freedom that I felt from that simplicity was just exquisite. And so now I'm talking about combating this feeling of lack, not enoughness. Not only was there plenty of food, plenty of places to stay, plenty of space to walk, plenty of time to walk alone, there were also plenty of moments for me to meet incredible people. This is a picture of me sitting with a Korean acupuncturist, and he was wearing a bag which in several languages said that he was here to serve. And you can't really see them, but in my hands I have probably about 40 or 50 very small acupuncture needles. And he gave me a free acupuncture session, and he was doing that for people, anyone that he met. So he became a great topic of conversation for a few days. "Hey, have you met the Korean acupuncturist yet? Man, you should go and get some time with him." Beautiful man. This is Father Miguel. Father Miguel he's the gentleman in the priest robes in the middle. I included him because I was raised Roman Catholic, and not to pick on Catholicism, there are so many religious pathways where the way I would say it is, in my experience, people are phoning it in. They don't seem to really be connected to their heart anymore in what it is that they're sharing. And Father Miguel was a very beautiful exception to that rule. Here we are at the end of a Mass in one of the very small towns on the Camino. And what he got us to do after the service was just as long and more fun than what happened in the service itself. He was very committed to having all of us have a combined experience, so he got us all singing. So there are 5 different countries represented in this picture. He got us all to sing songs that are representative of our countries. Just a beautiful, beautiful man. And after that, he gave me his blessing. And I'm not kidding when I say that I felt electricity go through me as he gave me the blessing. A very, very sweet man. I feel very blessed to have met him on the way. And these guys were the backbone of my experience. From left to right, this is Jorg and Traugott in the middle, and Stefan on the right. Jorg is my warrior brother. the most open-hearted man I've ever met. Trau Gott, whose name in German means trust in God, I love that, is a Lutheran minister. He was my spiritual companion on the way. And Stefan, on the right, is the embodiment of generosity for me. So we're actually standing here in a kind of a B&B place that we stayed at along the way, which Stefan's daughter had organized. There were probably about 4 or 5 places that I stayed with them where the 4 of us got to be together and out of the albergues and had a completely different experience. I continue to be in touch with these guys. I love these guys. And I'm very, very grateful that I met them. They enhanced my Camino experience greatly. So this is the church in, I want to make sure that I say this right. Yes, San Juan de Ortega. And if you take a look, there are 3 buildings. The building on the left is the albergue, or the hostel. The building in the middle is one of the chapels, and the building we're looking at straight on is the second chapel. Before I left, several people had asked requests of me, and one of them wanted me to sing a song that I had written in one of the churches. I went into both of these chapels and sang the song and was just blown away with the beauty of the sound. And I went in after dinner that night, and I went into the middle. I had sung in both chapels, but the one in the middle, the one that's kind of sideways to us, had a better sound than the one that we're looking straight at. And I went in there with my guitar lily, and I just sang songs which I thought would be appropriate for that space for about an hour. And as I played, many people came in and quietly sat behind me and just enjoyed the sound that I was making. And for days afterwards, people were coming up to me on the Camino and thanking me for the sacred sound I'd created. It was definitely a musical highlight for me to do that. And aside from this one experience of playing in the albergue, in this chapel, I led many sing-alongs in several of the albergues and in a couple of the bars. And that was fun too, to have people from all different countries singing with me. Very, very beautiful. I'm very, very glad I brought that instrument. So here we are at the Cruz de Ferro. For those of you who don't know what the Cruz de Ferro is, that's Iron Cross. People are encouraged to bring a small rock, something from home, usually a rock, but not necessarily, something that they wish to release. So as you can see from this mound, people have been doing this for years, and so I knew very clearly that when I went, and I brought a rock from BC with me, and carried it with me, a small rock, carried it with me all the way in my pack. This is about 2/3 of the way through the experience. And what I wanted to do was to get rid of any sense of lack. So all this stuff that had been going on in me on the trip up until this point, this was me deepening my commitment to release all feelings of lack. And so I laid a stone down there, and I had very strong waves of emotion after I left that cross and then made my way down into the next valley. So something had definitely happened that day. I definitely did release some fear. Now, here we are at the end of the trip. This is the end of the trip for most people. This is the cathedral in the Camino de Santiago. And as you can see by the cranes in the background, I actually wasn't able to go inside. And for those of you who may have seen the way, there's a wonderful experience during the church where they have this enormous incense burner, which needs to be raised by about 12 men and then swung the entire nave of the church. Very powerful image. I wasn't able to enjoy any of that. I was very sad about that. And I knew that this wasn't going to be the end of my trip. Anyway, I no longer identify with being a Catholic, so it wasn't important for me to go in and see the bones of St. James or any of that kind of stuff. What I really wanted to do was to continue on to the coast. I'm originally from Montreal, and I needed to experience getting to the Atlantic Ocean. So that's why, I included another picture of the cathedral at night, because it's much more dramatic. I decided to continue on to Muxia, M-U-X-I-A. Muxia is a small fishing village. Here's the church looking out onto the Atlantic. And when I stood just behind the church here, I felt like my trip had been completed. This gave me the sense of closure that I was hoping to have. And again, to just stand there and feel those waves and hear the sound of those waves was a wonderful thing, and to breathe the salt air. After Muxia, I went on to Finisterre. Finisterre is Spanish for the end of the world. And before North America was discovered, this was the point that people thought was the end of the known world. You can't see it, I don't think, very well, but on that marker it says kilometer 0. So this is at the end. This is the end point of the Camino. So I'm standing there in my poncho, of course, which was on me a good deal of the time at this point. Galicia, the last region in Spain, is very rainy. And I want to show you some pictures now behind the lighthouse, which is behind me. So you can see that tall kind of antenna or tower. In this picture, I'm at the base of the tower. Just to the left there, you see the cross. And I'll just go ahead. At the cross is actually a pit where people in the past used to burn their clothes as a sign of just, again, releasing the old. I didn't do that, but I did do something else. As I was standing here, this is just behind the lighthouse. It was so windy in my poncho, I actually thought I was going to take flight. But I decided to walk out a little bit further next to the antenna, and I put my hands out, and I said, "Winds of Finisterre, wash me clean and make me whole." I just kept saying that over and over again. It felt like a deepening of the prayer, my intention at the Cruz de Ferro. It was a very powerful moment. The next day I went to the beach in Finisterre, about 9 kilometers in the opposite direction, and I did the same thing. I walked on this beach, and I did the same thing. I put my hands out and said, "Winds of Finisterre, wash me clean and make me whole." And again, the wind was so strong, at one point it blew my poncho right off. And I got completely drenched because it was raining, and I thought, wow, I definitely got washed clean. I got pummeled by the rain, and I really felt the power of that moment. Many, many shells are on the beach, and so I brought home 3 shells because I wanted to have some of the Camino come home with me. And something else that I did was I commemorated my trip by getting a tattoo. So here's my friend York, who I mentioned earlier. He got his tattoo about halfway through the trip. I got mine in Camino de Santiago. And I chose that image because being on the Camino was very life-changing for me, and I got the exact same tattoo as my friend York because I wanted to feel my heart connection with him deeper. And he came up with the phrase that we are brothers on arm. So Jorg is my brother on arm from Germany. So after I came home from my trip, and most people say that the Camino only really begins when you get home. And I'm amazed. I've read many, many books about the Camino, and most books don't mention that. They don't talk at all about what happens once you get home. So it was important for me to talk about this because I wanted to know that my intention, what I had said at the Cruz de Ferro, that prayer that I had prayed in Finisterre, that it had had an impact, and it did. I noticed that I had more trust. I was more in my body. In fact, for about the first 10 days after I got back, I had dreams of walking the Camino every night. I was walking for about another 10 nights after I got home. I'm very much a fastidious guy. I make a lot of lists. There was a lot less of that going on. There was just much more trust, more flow. I noticed that I was much more patient. And my commitment was I wanted to cultivate more freedom in my daily life. So I had been living with a roommate for 3 years. I did a big house purge in January and thought it's time for me to get back to living on my own. I moved into a place of my own on February 14th. It was my Valentine's Day gift to myself. And 8 days after I moved into that place, I met this incredible woman, Kim. And it's no exaggeration for me to say that she's the love of my life. I had completely, for the first time in my life, I had been very happy being a single man. And I'm absolutely certain that the space that I cultivated in myself on the Camino and my desire to let go and to feel free and to let go of all feelings of lack enabled Kim to walk into my life. We got together just before COVID hit, so the pandemic has gifted us with a great amount of time to get to know each other. And the heart knows what it knows. We've been together since March 15th. I proposed to her on May 1st. And I moved in with her in early June. So I'm a very happy man, and I feel very blessed. And there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that I would not have found Kim if I had not been on the Camino and I had not cultivated that sense of space and freedom in my life. So my question to you about all this, oh, sorry, one last thing. I will return to the Camino, and I realize that walking in Spain isn't important. What is important is for us to be present wherever we are. So the question that I have for you at the end of this talk is, what fear, what resistance do you have that you need to release so that you can trust and experience your freedom, so that you can experience your acceptance? My invitation is for you to listen deeply. That's what this whole experience has been about for me. The Camino, before I went on the Camino, I thought, am I going to experience some new earth-shattering insight, or is it just going to be a deepening of an existing thought, journey, inquiry? And it turned out to be the latter. It was very much about listening deeper. The Camino was very much a walking meditation for me. So my invitation to you is to listen deeply to whatever decision you need to make to help you make it, to just do the listening deeply. And if you're worried about the decision, I want to remind you of that childhood game we play, hot and cold. You know, when someone says, oh, you're moving towards it, you're hot, no, you're freezing. It's the same kind of thing. Your heart knows. Your heart knows when you're moving in the right direction. So listen to your heart. Listen and just listen. Breathe deeply, make the time to listen. Do something that gets you in your body. For me, it's walking, whatever it may be for you. And don't worry about making the wrong choice, because all paths lead home. And you can trust that. So lastly, I'd like to say, if you'd like to learn more about my Camino experience, I have some videos on the front page of my website, nathenaswell.com, as well as a PDF about all the lessons I learned and gear and all that stuff. So you can get that there. And if you'd like to talk to me, if you'd like me to listen to what decision you're facing, or you would just like someone to lend an ear to you as you think out loud about what the big decision is, or a big decision that you want to next make, please give me an email and let's connect. Thank you for your time and attention. I'd like to take you out with one of my songs called Little by Little, which I think really exemplifies everything I was just sharing with you. And I think you know this one. So if you know it, sing along. Little by little, bit by bit, I'm getting to the heart of it. Little by little, love is guiding me home. With every step along this path, I feel a little lighter. With every lesson that I learn, I burn a little brighter. Little by little, bit by bit, I'm getting to the heart of it. Little by little, love is guiding me home. And every soul along this path is like a little mirror. In understanding you, I see myself a little clearer. Little by little, bit by bit, I'm getting to the heart of it. Little by little, love is guiding me home. Throughout this journey, I've been shown that I am not alone. Whoa. With everything that I create, I grow a little stronger. With every triumph on this track, I'll go a little longer. Little by little, bit by bit, I'm getting to the heart
Wow, Nathan. Absolutely profound journey for you. And from this heart-centered, absolutely wise, loving place that you have found yourself in. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I confidently know I can speak for all that have been witnessing just the gems that you have provided us with along the way. Love the question, love the way that your journey unfolded in terms of releasing your fears, and don't we all have them in many, many ways, and what a deeply physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual experience that you had to bring more trust, more flow, more love into your life. And truly I honor that. And I love the last comment you made, which was listening deeply to our heart's wisdom. Our heart knows, doesn't it? And a reminder for everyone to check out Nathan's website at www.nathanaswell.com. And I'm assuming your contact information is on that as well, should anyone want to reach out personally to you. So thank you. Thank you, my friend, from the bottom of our hearts.
My great pleasure.
And so as we move into, even more gratitude for the world that we find ourselves in, the world that is magically unfolding for us, even when times feel tough, that there is always a solution. There is always another way. And so as we ponder that this is an abundant universe, and that it blesses and guides us. And as Nathan so clearly and eloquently demonstrated, that all the fears he had about lack and limitation and non-support fell away. Because the truth is, we live in an abundant universe that supports us in so many ways. And we at USCO, we bless you, and we are grateful for you for supporting us with your financial abundance, with your time and your talents. For that is why we exist, to grow and evolve as a spiritual community. As we usher in this golden age, each of us has a role to play. So let us know. There are many ways to support us, and the mini news, our weekly email outlines those ways, as well as going on to the website at ottawaunity.org. You can donate there. So let us know our own gratitude of what we have in our lives. Together, let's say this affirmation: divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I have, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And Nathan, thank you to sing us into our prosperity energy.
My pleasure. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Last two lines. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, Nathan, for the affirmation. And let us focus, before we say our affirmation together, let us focus on this beautiful green heron, one of the smaller herons. It's got its long neck tucked well into its shoulders. And Sheila provides us with a bird to carry our blessing, the USCO blessing, out into the world. And she told me that she has been sighting these green herons frequently in her walks in Mud Lake. And the heron calls us to look deeper in order to bring out our innate wisdom and increase our self-reliance. It teaches that grounding ourselves in the earth and our spiritual beliefs will help us discover emotional insights more clearly and more quickly. And interestingly, the green heron is a pretty smart fisher. Do you know that it drops its bait in the water to attract its prey? So with this perfect bird to deliver our blessing to the world, let us affirm together with all of our heart. Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us. And we accomplish mighty works together. Ah, and now I am falling into my very open heart. This is my newest granddaughter, Adeline Avora, born July 22nd at 3:39 in the afternoon. And she truly is a blessing. So let us hold, I'm just so happy to have her receive your blessings. And let us hold all the children that we love, all the children of the world, for they all deserve our heartfelt blessings as we say together, you are the peace, the love, and the light of this world. Let your light shine. Blessed be.
Blessed be. This little light of mine.
Yes, thank you, Jesus.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Thank you. And we have an opportunity now to have the August birthdays shine their light ever more brightly. And how blessed are we to have people in our community who are born in the Leo portal, the Leo heart portal. So all of those with August birthdays, please type your name into the chat. And I know at least one person, which is Sheila Purcell, who is celebrating her birthday. So anybody else? Anybody else? And Nathen, I'm going to ask you to join us in singing happy birthday to all our August babies and on their birthday.
Happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday, and may all your dreams come true. When you blow out the candles, one light stays aglow. It's the love light in your eyes wherever you go.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. August birthdays. So lots of thank yous are pouring in for you, Nathen. So thank you. You provided us with beautiful music uplifting, perfectly designed to flow with your message. Your meditation was very deepening, and your message will reverberate for a long time with all of us. And, you know, we're very fortunate, we're very blessed to have this recording. Sheila endeavors to get it up the same day. So as check out our website, officeunity.org, and the link to go directly into the Ottawa, our USCO YouTube page will be there. So please, you know, send it out to people that you think could be just uplifted and inspired. And so as well as Nathen, I'd like to thank Deborah Martin, our prayer partner today, to thank Kate Capoberco. It's so lovely to have you join us again, Kate, and maybe soon we'll see you back in the SF seat. Brenda, thank you for switching hats today and stepping into a co-host so you could help Sheila monitor the chat and the service flow. And of course, Sheila, thank you as always for your capacity to pull all of this together every Sunday for us. And ultimately, each one of you for showing up, for blessing us with your presence to make this online service possible, to make us go possible as we shine our light, as we move ever deeper into looking at what's possible. So thank you. And our theme next week is resistance and the call for love with Moni Deveji. She is, again, another beautiful friend of Osco's and someone who has also walked with Camino. So we're very blessed to have Moni in our presence as well. And Brenda will be back as your host, as the SF. So we're very happy. And in closing, as we come to the end of our service today, we take a moment to appreciate both Deborah Martin, who is our prayer facilitator, our prayer partner throughout the week. She reminded you, if you want a personal prayer, to send an email to the office, officeunityottawa.yahoo.ca, and she will make sure that Deborah gets your request, and Deborah will follow up. And, you know, just take a moment, take a breath, and take a moment to appreciate the myriad opportunities available to us to deepen into our experience. And in so doing, we can begin to live more authentically from the wisdom and the guidance of our hearts, our loving hearts. Remember that we need balance, and that play, being out in nature, finding opportunities to be in joy really help. So go in peace. Blessed be. Blessed be. And let's join us for our closing. Nathen will lead us in the prayer for protection. And in our closing song, he will guide and lead us on that, and then we'll have fellowship after that. Stay tuned.
Here we go. Prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And now the peace song. Let there be love on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be love on earth, a love that was meant to be, with God ever present, family all are we. us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let love begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in love eternally. Let there be love on earth, and let it be